Welcome to the Honda UK Open at Matchams Park. We've had 35 races so far in this series, and most of the action has been truly breathtaking. Now we've reached the climax, and during the next half hour, we'll discover just who's going to be the schoolboy and the senior champion of Supercross 1989. It's been a memorable and often bruising series. Back in the very first race, Australian Craig Dack went to pieces.
And the machine being landed on by the rest of the riders, but Craig Dack picking himself up, the riders beating the machine to pieces.
By the fourth round, it had got muddy and even more aggressive.
Rain is still falling. It dropped off just before, and a spectacular crash. Riders under the bridge, strewn all over the circuit.
Even the schoolboys have been hard on each other's heels, sometimes too hard.
I've seen anybody overtake there before, but it gave him plenty of air. He held it as he came down. That sharp right-hand hairpin. He's lost it. He's lost it. They've both gone down.
In the seniors, Jeremy Watley, last year's champion, is in the lead again, going into this last round. And that's despite an awful spill in round 5. He's number 5 with the yellow number plate at the back on the first bend. Watley fought on, but Rob Herring, his Suzuki teammate, is now only 5 points behind him.
Early on, I made a few mistakes and I managed to get away from him. But at the moment, I've had a few crashes and the chain's fallen off. So now it's into double points on the last 2 races, so it's anybody's race, isn't it?
How do you feel about this double point situation?
Well, it's always the same as last year. If you're in the lead, you don't like it. If you're coming from behind, you love it. But I think it should be just normal points because we've done all the racing and we've just worked it out. A guy in 8th place can actually win the championship from here.
The top 24 riders have 1 heat each, then the final. Double points then, your commentator, Barry Nutley.
If what we've seen so far in Supercross is anything to go by, we have a real spectacle in store as the riders come to the line for the 8th and final round. There is nothing but 5 points separating the 2 top riders at the top of the points table. It could not be closer. Jeremy Watley on 148, Rob Herring on 143. Watley does not go in this race, but Herring does. Number 6 on the plate, and there are double points up for grabs as they hook it into gear. 30 points for the win. Herring will do his utmost to make sure those points are his at the end of the race. The gate drops, they're all away, and nosing into the early lead is the number 17 Kawasaki of Phil Small. Now, Phil Small carried our camera in the 1988 series and performed quite well for us in the early rounds of 1989 Supercross, then fell away with various problems, but he bounced back with a bang in this, the 8th and final round, to lead the race. Now there's a Suzuki in 2nd place. I can't pick up, yes it is. Number 6, Rob Herring, burst into 2nd place, so Herring in 2nd. Looking at the moment as though he's going to pick up 24 points. Phil Small not giving way to Herring. Herring putting the nose in front, having a go. So it's Small. It's Herring. There's a Yamaha in 3rd, but I can't quite see the number. We'll have to wait till he gets alongside. And that's the Yamaha there. Don't pay any attention to the number on the back of the shirt. Phil Small, number 17. Number 6. And that Yamaha. Number 10 is Julian Rawson. The number 10 Yamaha of Julian Rawson. And number 8 there, Suzuki Ashley Kane, sitting in 4th. So, our leader, number 17, Phil Small, 1 lap completed, on his way round past the commentary point. Philip Small really giving it all he can. 30 points will help him because Phil Small is sitting in 8th place on 84 points. So 30 will do no harm at all to his final points tally. There is the number 10 Yamaha of Julian Rawson in 3rd, and this is how close the battle is for the lead, as Herring really hunting now to do what he can to go for the win, and he's closing. He's looking the left, he's looking the right, he's gone past on the left-hand side, and Small almost tossed it away across the tyres there, letting Rob Herring through. So a good move by Rob Herring. He threw a dummy to the right, he went to the left, hooked it up a gear, and shot past the stricken Kawasaki of Small, who also lost 2nd place to the number 10 Yamaha of Julian Rawson. So that was a bad move by Phil Small, and he will be kicking himself for that, and he's now coming under pressure from another Suzuki, the number 8 Suzuki of Ashley Kane, all the way from Newcastle. A good ride so far by Rob Herring. It remains to be seen whether Jeremy Watley can equal this performance, because equal it he will have to do if he wants to do anything about hanging on to his Matchams Supercross Championship title. As Rawson flies round the banking in a relatively safe 2nd place, But look at this battle now for third, fourth and fifth as those riders come over the bridge towards us. Third man, fourth man, and another Suzuki down there in fifth. Nothing between them, halfway into the race. A really gripping bit of action for Phil Small, and he desperately needs the points. And don't forget, the grand final is yet to come with double points up for grabs there as well. Wilson, and there, number 6, Rob Herring. Up goes the left leg, flicks it round, hooks it down again, up over the lead, beautifully in control, and there's the win. Rob Herring, number 6, the checkered flag is out. Home comes the Yamaha, Julian Rawson, number 10. And looking for our third man now, has Phil Small held it? Yes, he has. Number 17 on the Kawasaki, Phil Small. And number 8, Ashley Kane, missing from the leaderboard. What happened to him? This man doesn't care. Number 6, Rob Herring, took a very convincing win and collected 30 points to move on to the grand final.
So Rob Herring gets the all-important 30 points, puts the squeeze on Jeremy Watley in the second heat.
Jeremy Watley, number 5, having seen his teammate Rob Herring gallop to a 30-point win in the last race, knows that that is the very least he has to do. And the interesting formula in this race is that Mervyn Anstey, number 1 on the Honda, will do his very best to upset that chance for Jeremy Watley. They've clashed several times in previous rounds. They are both very quick out of the gate, very smart when the gate drops. And Anstey wants to do something about the points tally because he is currently in 5th place on 106 points, and a 30 from this would do him no harm at all. And he's away, pushed the gate, but he is very, very crisp indeed. Anstey, but look at the number in the front. Jeremy Watley, who's left on the line, number 29, on his back, couldn't see the number on the bike, Jeremy Watley from Eastwood. From Warren Edwards, Jeremy Watley leading. Mark Eastwood in second. Warren Edwards, number 22 it was, left on the line. That was Alan Morrison on the KTM. So no points for Morrison in this one. He won't make the final. His Supercross series is over, but not for Jeremy Watley, number 5. On his way now to a win, but not having it all his own way because the young man behind him, number 7, Mark Eastwood, is extremely fast and has demonstrated to us before just how he can come through and challenge the supremacy of somebody as accomplished as Watley. Eastwood pushing hard. Looking at the inside line, Jeremy Watley easily now over the bumps. Very, very rough. Young Warren Edwards there in close company in third on the Yamaha, number 11. And in 4th place, that looks like a KTM, but you can see just how difficult the job of identification is here as Mervyn Anstey struggles his way round in about 7th place on the Honda. Jeremy Watley making no mistake about this, and if Watley finishes in the lead, he and Rob Herring will meet in the grand final with only 5 points separating them, and that will indeed be a tremendous prospect. Jeremy Watley over the skyline on the Suzuki, bouncing his way towards the hairpin right-hander, which is by now very, very deep indeed. The stand here at Matchams has excavated over recent weeks and has all been pushed to the side. The course has been graded, of course, between events, but nevertheless it's very soft if it's ridden regularly, and it has been ridden regularly on. Watley still holding that slender lead from number 7 teammate Mark Eastwood, who is sitting in 3rd place in the competition on 132 points. So it's looking now as though it could easily be a Suzuki 1-2-3 benefit in the Matchams Supercross for 1989, but still anything can happen. There's still a lot to go wrong. The final will be 5 laps, a longer race, double points, £2,000 prize for the individual winner at the end of it. Is it going to Jeremy Watley? Is it going to this man, Mark Eastwood? Is it going to teammate number 6, Rob Herring? And young Warren Edwards in there has got a sniff of the prize money as well, and going great guns. And then number 14, Stuart Coyle, sideline on his Kawasaki. It doesn't look as though he's been off it. It simply stopped, and Eastwood, as I was saying, has really turned in a superb performance. Rob Hooper, the Suzuki team manager, will be delighted. And Mervyn Anstey, the number 1 plate for Honda, is way down in 8th place, so Anstey has obviously encountered some problem. The checkered flag is being readied. Jeremy Watley comes over the hill for the last time. So Watley takes the win. Mark Eastwood in 2nd place. And in 3rd, as they come round the corner, number 11 on the Yamaha, young Warren Edwards, last year's schoolboy winner in Supercross. Mark Eastwood under the bridge, in front of him the number 5 plate of the victorious Jeremy Watley, who now has the prospect of going on to the grand final with only 5 points. The numbers on his back, 5 it is, separating him and Rob Herring.
Anything Herring can do, Whatley can do better, it seems. So they go into the grand final just 5 points apart. Meanwhile, the country's top schoolboys are ready to start their final. It's certainly tight at the top, with 4 youngsters in, with a real chance of taking the title. And the leader, Neil Prince, is admitting to a few butterflies.
I'm very nervous, yeah.
But why?
I don't know, I've been at it 11 years and I'm still nervous today.
Isn't that strange? Have you felt nervous in all the heats so far?
Yeah, and a few of them I felt nervous. But after that that last race where I collided with Jason, I'm still a bit keyed up about that.
Yes, the schoolboy final coming up after the break, and they won't take anything lying down. Join us again in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. The climax of our schoolboy championship then, commentary by David Duffield.
Well, there are only 5 points separating the top 3 in this schoolboys final. And they're battling out not only for points this time of 30, 24 and 20 for the first 3 to go across the line, but also for a Honda Vision scooter, which will go to the mother of the schoolboy that runs out victor after this very exciting series of Supercross here at Matchams. Neil Prince has 91 points, he's number 1. Number 7 and number 2, Jason Burrows and Chris McMillan, have 90 points and 86 points respectively. And it's Neil Prince, number 1, who has the inside gate and is nearest to us on the camera there. And that's a good spot to start from. That is the best gate anybody can have, because it's a sharp left-hander ahead of these schoolboys on the 1-2-5cc. Right off they go. Can they get a clean start? Yes, they're all away now. And Prince got boxed slightly, and it was Chris McMillan that took the lead. Chris McMillan has taken the lead now. Prince is in second place. So it's McMillan roaring away now, with Prince behind him, and just behind them is Kelly Swanson, who started out in 5th place overall. So what on earth has happened to Jason Burrows, who was in there on his Kawasaki? He needs to get up amongst the point scorers. So it's in the league, Chris McMillan, who started out in 3rd place with those vital 86 points. Right behind him, Neil Prince. And there is the 3rd place man overall in this series at the moment. If he stays out here, Chris McMillan can win this title. He's got 86 points and there's 30 at stake for crossing the line. He's got to stay there. Prince knows he's got to get past him. And in 3rd spot now, here is Burrows has gone past McMillan. Well, it's all changing now. There's quite a lot of changes going on here. Quite surprising that with these boys are battling away at the front. Prince is in the lead now, and Burrows has gone up into 2nd place, and way back now into 3rd has gone Chris McMillan. They've all been changing now, so it's 1, 7 and 2 is the order. Neil Prince it is, leading through now. Looking good. There's number 7, we've been looking all the way through. Jason Burrows in 2nd place, and 3rd then is Chris McMillan. That's the way they started this race, by the way. 91 points to Neil Prince, 90 points to Jason Burrows, and 86 to Chris McMillan. And he's slowing down. Prince seemed to lose a lot of revs then, and oh, he's fallen. Jason Burrows has fallen, and that's also delayed. Chris McMillan has got to restart his bike, and whipping round the outside. I mean, Kelly Swanson has passed now Chris McMillan, who has been the dark horse. He's got better as the racing has gone on, and Chris McMillan is going to be tipped as a possible winner of this race, but he's dropped back to 4th now. There's our 1st place man, there's our 2nd place man, and there's 3rd and 4th coming to sight now. Chris McMillan has got back into, no he hasn't, he's still 4th. Chris McMillan, number 2, is still 4th, and Kelly Swanson is in 3rd place. And he's coming inside him. This is the lad we thought might be up there, challenging for the lead. He's got past the 4th of Kelly Swanson, so he's now into 3rd place. There's our leader, Neil Prince then. And stop. Oh, that's a great disappointment. Matthew Harvey has come to a grinding halt. He started today in 4th place with 75 points. He was the national champion last year, and now he's not going to get this Matchams Supercross series for schoolboys stitched up into his achievements this year. He's out of it, but the man who's in it is number 1, Neil Prince, 16 years of age. Looking like a champion, heading for the title now. The old blake's going to come out for 1 lap to go when he goes round any moment now. He's just got to keep that bike going on strong. We don't know what's happened to number 7. There's a big gap. Where on earth has number 7 gone? Jason Burrows. We can't, this is another, no, Jason Burrows has gone. Who's this? My goodness, it's number 2, Chris McMillan has come through to 2nd place. They're coming to the last lap, and we've lost Jason Burrows. He's gone out of 2nd place. There's number 1. That's Neil Prince on his last lap now. Over the top of these big jumps, looking good. What's happened behind them? Well, we understand then that Jason Burrows dropped back to equal fifth. So there's the second place rider, number 2, Chris McMillan. And Burrows has dropped out of the reckoning now. So McMillan will now move up into second place overall, but so long as Neil Prince keeps cool.
This final clash.
The pièce de résistance of the whole series, the grand final of the 1989 Matchams Supercross, and the outcome going into this final on points could not have been closer if the whole thing had been fixed. The two Suzuki teamsters, numbers 5 and 6, Jeremy Watley and Rob Herring respectively, are separated by only 5 points, and with double points, that is 30 points, going on a win, it means that a win will take it. Whoever or whichever of these two Suzuki pilots wins this race, if his teammate comes second or wherever, he gets the victory. The win is his, so it really is a needle match between Watley and Herring, and Watley is there from the word go. Herring is wedged in the middle of the pack. Jeremy Watley is going for it. Mark Eastwood is in second. Mervyn Anstey is there in third. Rob Herring is in fourth. So can Herring, and this is the question, up to third as I speak, can Rob Herring do it? And he has to win. Second is not good enough. He has to win. 5 laps, 30 points, 24 points for second, 20 points for third. Rob Herring desperate to do something about it, and he does have 1 extra lap in which to do it. But Jeremy Watley, meanwhile, is galloping away at the front of the pack. The gap now between himself and young Mark Eastwood, something like 3 or 4 lengths. Number 17 there, a faller, Phil Small, off the Kawasaki, out of the reckoning. It's all about these 3 now. Will young Eastwood ride to team orders? Will he let the man Herring, number 6, through to do anything about it, or is he really going? Now, Eastwood cannot, to my reckoning, do anything about Rob Herring's position in the overall stakes. But what he can do is get in the way and bring him off, and that could easily happen. But it is very, very close. Ashley Kane there in the middle of the pack. The Suzuki men have really acquitted themselves well. There's Mark Eastwood. There's Jeremy Watley. Up came the back wheel, kicking sideways over the skyline. Hard on the brakes now, into that ever-deepening rut in that right-hander. Jeremy Watley from St Leonard's, just down the road. A local boy to the Ringwood circuit. A star-studded career for him, having ridden a variety of machinery, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Kajiva, on which he took 4th place in the World Championship, but for the last 3 years on the Yellow Perils, based at Crawley, the Herring Suzuki team. Mark Eastwood there in second, and a hairy moment there for number 6, Rob Herring. The bike flicks sideways. He is struggling to do it, and I don't think there's much he can do about it, but you never know in these conditions, and especially when Jeremy Watley comes round to lap some of the tail enders, and that is a distinct possibility. 5 laps might see them up among the back markers. They really are flying and bouncing their way around this national circuit. Rob Herring in desperation, trying everything he knows to get past the flying number 7, Mark Eastwood. Watley, untroubled, out on his own, deep in the rut, and there you can see Herring is through. Can he now do it? Can he wind him in? That is tricky stuff. Jeremy Watley, high in the air. And a gap now. And Herring has gone. Herring has gone. He has thrown away the chances. There is Rob Herring. He has thrown away the chance, and that is not unknown for Rob Herring to step off the bike and chuck it away. Mark Eastwood now back in that second place, and dare I say, riding comfortably. This man on his last lap now, Jeremy Watley, number 5, and Eastwood right with him, closing a little bit if anything. And up to third place, it is indeed number 8, Ashley Kane from Newcastle, making it a Suzuki 1, 2, 3 at the moment, and that is a tremendous boost for the Suzuki team, and in particular team manager Rob Hooper. But Watley and Eastwood halfway round the last lap. Watley riding the tight line, Eastwood going a little bit wider, hooking it up, feet in the air, the showman every inch of the way, Jeremy Watley, playing to the crowd. He knows he's got it wrapped up, but he's not leaving anything to chance, because Eastwood is now ever so close, much, much closer than he's been through the whole of this race on the last lap. Some 100 yards to do now, coming round to the finish. 1 left-hander, 1 more hill to negotiate. Jeremy Watley, hotly pursued by Mark Eastwood to the flag. The checkered flag is out. Watley takes the win, a well-deserved win, and now a long, long gap before the third man comes in, and the third man, number 8, Ashley Kane trickles over the line for the third place for Suzuki, and coming across in fourth, it was the number 25, Matthew Bates. But the winner, and a magnificent win, stormed his way through. He made no mistake from the flag. He knew that he had to beat Herring. He got the whole shot. He rode really hard, well-deserved win. The 1989 Matchams Supercross champion, Jeremy Watley.
For the second year, Jeremy Watley is our Supercross champion. Rob Herring gave him a run for his money, but the local hero produced a winning start in that final.
I think that's the main thing, because it's getting a bit liney at the moment and rutty. There wasn't a lot of overtaking being done unless you give it a bit of a heave-ho. So if you had the lead, just ride steady, keep your rut, and you had it made.
This was the second year running. It's becoming a bit of a habit, isn't it?
I
Winning
like
this?
I like the habit. I don't want to kick the habit yet.
No, well, it's obviously pleased your wife and all the friends and supporters you got here.
Well, like I say, it's my home circuit, so there's a lot of people here watching me, and you feel like you've let them down if you don't do well.
Smashing. You've enjoyed it? You're going to come back for a third one?
It's great fun, yeah, I love it.
And so does Neil Prince, winning not just a trophy, but that scooter for his mum. In the team competition, the Suzuki lineup took the honours. Watley, of course, and Rob Herring, well supported by Mark Eastwood and Ashley Kane. They beat Kawasaki, who were second. Yamaha were third. Former world champion Dave Thorpe presenting the prizes. And Suzuki provide our champion in the Honda UK Open. And if you think Jeremy Watley has a tough time out there, what about his wife Karen? We watched the final with Mrs. Watley, and she produced real championship emotions. From us all, it's goodbye.